Hello makers, welcome to the workshop. In this video I'm going to talk about French cleat design and prototyping through to making and revisions, and I'm going to show you my process, some of the tools I use, my thinking, etc. And in this particular video I'm going to make a tool holder for this cordless drill, or of course any cordless drill. At the moment I keep these on shelves, but they take up more room than if I was to store them face on. And I know some people are working out of small workshops, sheds, single garages, etc. So that was my thinking. I'd like to make one of these. So to begin with, I just basically take some measurements, not overly accurately, but you know, front to back, height, width here in particular, the width around here. And then part of my design process is to just put it on the bench and look at it for a while, maybe even stare out of the window. Design for me anyway is as much about the things that you reject as the things that you actually want. You know, it's part of that road. There are lots of ways to store this, and I want to think about those. Take some aspects that I like, reject others that I don't. So the next stage would be to possibly go onto Google image search or Pinterest and have a look at what other people are doing. Not that I'm looking to copy anyone, because I have my own style, so to speak, but to see things again, things that people are doing well, things that I don't like, etc. And I see some people hang them like this, and you have to come in with your hand, pull it back, and that, well, that's not too bad, not something I really wanted to do. Some people have them like this, and then no matter what you do, it's facing the wrong way, so I certainly didn't want to do that. So there were a few designs that I liked. I even actually looked at leather gun holsters, because this is pretty much like a gun, and I quite like the idea of maybe incorporating some leather into here, but making that seemed overly complicated, and I rejected the idea. But I just wanted, you know, to go down for you to understand that I'm looking at all sorts of ideas. In the end, I thought the simplest things that I saw that I liked were the type where you're using a PVC tube with a slot cut in it and the tool goes in like that. So I thought, well, I'll have a go at making something along those lines. So I started off by just cutting out a piece of card. I do my prototyping in 6mm corrugated cardboard. My tool holders are made from 6mm plywood. That's 1/4 inch, and this is 1/4 inch, the cardboard. And I use cardboard because A, it's way cheaper, it even cuts faster. So it gives me an idea as to whether I'm along the right path or not. So I drew this up, and this fits in here, but obviously, and I knew this was going to happen, it's going to hit here. So I need to cut something out there, and in order to keep it strong, I turned this through 45 degrees so I could cut here and still support it with some spacers. So the next one that I did was like this, and that sort of worked, but got a bit tricky around these two lugs, although this in effect is exactly what the PVC tube idea is. So I know this would work, but I was thinking might not be the simplest of things to do. So then I came up with this. So this is just basically a slot that slides in, and this was the first version, and I figured it was a little bit too tight if you can see that, but there's some rubbing going on there, and I didn't think that was really what I was after. So I re-engineered that just with a slightly wider slot. Still works perfectly well, supports, it's only cardboard obviously, but supports the tool no problem. Now, I only have Ryobi drivers and a Makita driver, so I'm not entirely certain if this width is correct for Festool, Milwaukee and DeWalt. If any of those companies are watching, feel free to contact me and send me some freebies. I'd love to see if it fits, and I'd love to try your tools. But I've only got the Ryobi and the Makita. But this fits fine. I may have to adjust this slightly if I had different drills, but I think, you know, because of the ergonomics of a drill, and the necessity to keep the weight down, etc. I think they are all probably pretty similar. So I quite liked this idea, and then it was a case of, well, supporting that and what else I do to make it look better. So my next mock-up was this. So I'm making like a garage for it now. This also makes the whole thing a little bit stronger and easier to fit to a wall board, because now I can have a bracket down here and I can also glue around here. So I've got quite a lot of strength going on because this is cantilevered out from the wall with, you know, a reasonable amount of weight on. So that was what I had in mind, and I thought that I would probably clad this in plywood so that it matched pretty much my pencil holder design here with a living hinge wrapping around. Now, I didn't think it was possible to make a living hinge out of corrugated cardboard. I think it would just fall apart. So I made this. Hope you can see that fairly clearly. So this was a garage idea I had with a living hinge. This is plywood. And there are a couple of things put me off here. One, I think it started looking a bit bulky, a bit bombastic. Lost its elegance, so to speak, and living hinges take quite a long time to cut. Not that I see that as a problem. I'm doing other things in the workshop while the laser's cutting it, but, you know, all in all, I think it was just overkill. And these are things with design and prototyping. You have ideas that you think will work, some of which do, but some of which end up rejected. And this I decided to reject. Also, my wife made the good point of how would I identify, if it was all covered, how would I identify the difference between a screwdriver, an impact drill, or a drill itself. So, you know, fair point I think she made there. I just want to say, you know, as I said, some design ideas come to fruition, others are rejected. So then I got round to actually making the first iteration, and it ended up looking like this, which is pretty much what you saw in the prototype, the cardboard one, except I doubled up on these hoops for no other reason than aesthetic. It will probably give it a little bit more strength, but I just like, I prefer this design. It looks a little bit nicer. Also modelled a bracket here at the bottom, and the reasoning there for that design is that my hand doesn't get in the way of the bracket, but I've given it maximum strength. So that was pretty good. I was happy with this iteration, but when I put it on the wall and was moving the drill in and out, you know, like you get these tests at IKEA where they do it hundreds of times, well, you know, I did it quite a few times, and it was lifting slightly when I was pulling it out. Sometimes, not all the time. It wasn't going to fall off the wall. It was just something that I noticed. And so what I did was I redesigned this side here from one hook to two hooks. So it's now, when it's on the wall, it's resting on two wall cleats as opposed to one. And these are, you know, this is the same spacing as my French cleat spacers that are on the website. And the other reason that I did this, in fact the main reason that I did this to stop it doing that, was I decided I'm going to use a couple of rare earth magnets here and here, so that I can store various extensions just below. And these rare earth magnets are fearlessly strong, and that would have a tendency, if it could lift, it would. And now it'll be trapped by being on two wall cleats instead of one. So, you know, I've gone from concept, some designs, rejected some things, accepted some things, some prototyping, to the first, what I would call real mock-up. This is usable absolutely in my workshop, but I've improved it once it's on the wall. I thought, oh well, there's a couple of things I could do to improve it, and that's what I've done. Now, so you know, I do all of my designs on Shaper 3D. I do that on an iPad Pro with an Apple Pencil. I really like, I'm old school. I did an apprenticeship in mechanical engineering design. I used to design manufacturing robots, was my first job, my apprenticeship. So I'm used to, it's sort of embedded in me that I'm quicker with a pencil to draw than I am with a mouse. But that software does work, you know, on the laptop as well, with a mouse or trackpad or whatever. That's what I do, is I design and model in Shaper 3D, and then when I've got finished designs, I upload those to Google Drive, so they're all categorized in folders, etc. So that's pretty much it. I have also modeled a slightly wider one with 2 garages on, and a slightly wider one again with 3 garages. I will make those. I don't have the plywood at the moment, so I haven't made them yet. I have difficulty getting plywood where I live. I'm on a small island, and getting ones that are dead flat is tricky. So I haven't got any at the moment, but I have made models of them. I'll include those now, so you can see this single version, the double version, and the triple version, and they'll all be available on the website. So that's, you know, just wanted to talk you through some of the process that I go through, how some ideas work, some don't. When I was designing offices for a long time, office layouts, and people used to sort of say, oh well, what if you try that? I say, well, you know, you're not paying for what you see, you're paying for all the things I've rejected, because that design is a process of rejection until you get down to something that you really like, as you've seen slightly in this video. Okay, well, if you've found this video useful, please like and subscribe. Subscriptions really make a difference to the channel and the amount of people that see these videos. If you haven't seen videos by me before, then have a look at the channel, you might find something useful. Anyway, either way, I've been Alan, you've been watching, and I'll see you in the next video.